Hey, Degens. Sorry about those technical difficulties. Um, I know I was talking about the Chiefs Eagles games before all the technical difficulties, so I'm just gonna do a quick recap of that really quick. Uh, Chiefs, they're looking like shit. Simple as that. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what's going on whatsoever. Patrick Mahomes is doing Patrick Mahomes stuff, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he can't hold on to the goddamn ball to save his life. That defense is letting points score left, right, and center. Um, yeah, big question mark there. The Eagles, on the other hand, Jalen Hurts not looking too bad. That offense not looking too bad. That defense not looking too bad. We look like we might actually have a football team on our hands. And what's one rule we have on this show talking about the Chiefs whenever we talk about betting? The Chiefs hate to cover, especially 5.5. They can't cover 3.5 to save their life. So why the hell would they start covering 5.5? Don't get me wrong. They did get embarrassed last week, and I think that's the best way to put it. They got embarrassed last week. Uh, they're not going to look for that to happen again. They're going to win this game. So take the money line, but Eagles plus 5.5 seems to be like free money. Um, However, of course, um, not all things are what's the word I'm looking for? Oh wow, sorry, I'm trying to look up live lines, make sure I have everything as accurate as possible. And Barstool just took down all NFL odds. Don't worry, that's why we have multiple sports books. We love having that. But Noah's taking the Chiefs -7, which he found on his book. I have them at -6.5 now. I'm going to take the Eagles at +6.5 because the Chiefs hate to cover, even though the Eagles are not a good football team, and the Chiefs just coming off that embarrassing. And that's what it was. It really was. It was just embarrassing what that last game was. I don't know. That was a Chiefs team I've never seen before, and honest to God, hope I never see again because man, that was miserable. Uh Next game we're going to talk about. We're going to New York. I'm sorry, we're going to New Orleans. I believe this is the first time the Saints will be in action back in their home stadium. They've been on the road for the last bunch of weeks. They are an 8-point favorite against the Giants, -375 on the money line. Giants +280. Over-unders at 43.5. The Giants suck. There's nothing else really to say about that. The Giants are not a good football team. Danny Dimes is Danny interceptions. It's simple as that. Uh, I don't. That defense is. I'm speechless. It's just you can't really say anything about them. Saints, Jameis Winston is looking excellent. That offense is clicking on all cylinders. Defense being a little suspect, but I don't think it's anything they can't fix up. And I don't think it's anything that they can't I don't think it's anything that's going to hold them back from winning this game. I have the Saints covering 7 points. Noah also has the Saints covering the 7 points. Uh, yeah, touchdown at least. I mean, well, I wish there was a hook. I wish it was 6.5, not 7. But I'll take the 7. This is probably going to be a blowout more than people think. Uh, the line opened at 8 points, and so it's bet down to 7. I'm assuming a lot of people jumped on the Giants +8, not thinking they're that bad, and hoping the Saints aren't that good. But we will definitely see. But the Saints team, in our opinions, is trending in the right way, and they lost a step with after losing Drew Brees, just losing that leadership. But nothing that a good offseason next year can't solve. The next game. Did Noah have a pick for this game? I believe he did, but I just can't find it right now. Uh, Let me look at it really quick. Oh, my bad. He did definitely had a pick for this, and he's gonna hate my pick for this, but you know, whatever. This is my show too. This is both of our shows. I can make the bad picks or what I think is a great pick because let me tell you, Tennessee Titans and the New York Jets. The New York Jets, Zach Wilson does not look like a bad quarterback. He looks like a bad quarterback on a bad team. I'm sorry, a good quarterback on a bad team, making those rookie mistakes that you expect these rookies to make. With that being said, the Titans don't really have a team. They have Derrick Henry running the ball. And we saw it in the Thursday night game with Jacksonville and the Bengals. Their run offense is so much better than most of their offense, and the Jaguars' run defense hasn't been good. But they knew the Bengals were going to come in and run the ball, so they loaded the box and they let them have it. You know, the Bengals did not have good rushing yards and did not have a lot of success rushing the ball. They had some success over top. But again, that was a close game. And so if the Jets kind of follow suit, they just load the box. Don't get me wrong. It's still going to take 7 people to tackle Derrick Henry. He's still going to get 5 yards. But I'd rather him just get 5 yards over a long period of time and make them throw the ball than anything. And I hope the Jets do that. Saleh over there, he's a great head coach. I'm sure he'll figure it out. Zach Wilson, I think this is his coming out party because I do not trust this Titans defense whatsoever. That's why for the 4th week in a row, I am taking the Jets money line. It's gonna hit. And I think this is actually the week. The Titans defense is not as good as everyone's making it out to be. I'll take the Titans. Noah, on the other hand, is going to take Tennessee and the points at 6.5. I can't blame him. But I think the Jets are actually going to come out and do some stuff in this game, which I'm excited about. I really like the Jets, and I like Zach Wilson. And I hope that he doesn't turn his into another Sam Darnold, where people are just questioning whether he's good because he's on a bad team. Or, I'm sorry, if he's bad because he's on a bad team, or good and he's just on a bad team. But we'll see as that comes. Next game on the slate, we got the football team at Falcons. Football team is a 1.5-point favorite, minus 110, 48.5 points, over under. I didn't even bother writing down the Falcons money line because the Falcons are just they're the worst team in football. I would say they're worse than the Jets, the Jaguars, literally anyone else, any other of these bottom tier teams. For the sole reason that they're not going anywhere. They still have Matt Ryan and that massive contract for a couple more years. They're stuck unless he retires, and I don't think he's going to retire because I also would just want to collect that check for as long as possible. So, with that being said, football team still not having Ryan Fitzmagic kind of hurts. I still like them a lot more than I like this Falcons team. So, regrettingly, I'm taking the football team and the 1.5. Noah is also taking the 1.5. I don't know if that's regretting or not, but yeah, we're both on the football team on this one. This next game, I need a beer break for it. Hold on. I hate picking this game because I got my homer and I got my betting. You know, I'm talking about Cardinals Rams. From the bottom of my heart, I think this Cardinals team is going to make it to the Super Bowl. I think Kyler Murray finally figured it out. I think Cliff Kingsbury has finally come into his own as a coach and is kind of figuring out how to coach in the NFL and everything like that, because that is a big transition. Urban Meyer is learning that right now. This Rams team, though, wow. And I think that's all I really have to say, because you can listen to any other sports outlet and they'll tell you what they think of the Rams, and it's going to be the exact same thing that I'm going to say. Matt Stafford is unbelievable. He was just on a shitty team for a long time. Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, that defense, unstoppable. Those guys they're just game changers. Simple as that. And that defense can stop whatever they want to at any moment. Cliff Kingsbury is going to have to be very creative. The only reason I'm making the pick that I'm going to pick is because the Cardinals are 11-5-2 against the spread with Cliff Kingsbury as their head coach. So I'm taking them to cover the spread. This Rams team is too good for me for them to pick the money line. I'll take them to cover the 4.5. I got them at 4.5. Noah's taking the Rams to cover at 4. It's going to be one hell of a game. I think we're really going to see what the Cardinals. This is the Cardinals' first true test. They kind of got by on the Vikings and Jacksonville and all of this other stuff. They can't be making the stupid mistakes they've been making. They can't be doing what they've been doing. They need to show up like they did week 1. Put a bunch of points on the board early, and then just let the defense do the rest. You got J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones. Let's see Chandler Jones let's see Chandler Jones have another 5-sack game. Big fan of that. Game that I am not looking forward to but I can't wait to bet on. We're talking about the Seahawks 49ers. These are the two worst teams in the NFC West. And I say that because they are. Simple as that. Seahawks are not the team that everyone thought they would be. Russell Wilson having his concerns about the offensive line during the offseason is obviously showing up now, whether he'll say it or not. That offensive line is very questionable, along with that defense. 49ers, on the other hand, I, I could not tell you what is going on with that team. I really couldn't. It seems like they've lost all their magic. That's the best way I can describe it. Don't get me wrong, they've won a couple games and everything, but watching this 49ers team compared to last year, compared to the year before, it seems like they've lost a step somewhere. But the Seahawks just seem like they've lost so much more. The odds on this game, the 49ers, 2.5-point favorite, minus 193 on the money line. Seahawks plus 114 on the money line. Over under at 52. Noah's taking the Seahawks plus 2.5 and the over at 52. I'm on the 49ers minus 2.5, staying away from the total. I think the 49ers is a better football team. And this is just going to be a classic tale of NFC West teams beating up on each other. This is going to be a close game. This is going to be a tight game. But the 49ers, in my opinion, are going to come away with this pretty easily. If not easily, I mean, as close as it can be. This next game has been a head scratcher. I'm not gonna lie. We're talking about the Ravens and the Broncos. Whew. This is a game that if you told me to pick at the beginning of the season and you showed me the lines, I would have said Ravens all day. The Broncos don't have a team. The Broncos have a team. They're a football team that can win games and can play games competitively, and no one was expecting that, especially with the Broncos making the chase for Aaron Rodgers. We thought they were out on their quarterbacks and everything, but here we go. And the Ravens also just coming off of a big win. Wow, this game's rough, especially some sports books. It's coming up as a pick-em, minus 100 both ways. Barstool, they got it. The Broncos minus 1.5 points as the favorite, minus 124 on the money line. Ravens 103 on the money line. Over/under is at 45. Noah's taking the Ravens pick-em because that's what it is at his book. I'm also going to take the Ravens on the spread. I think this Broncos team is a lot better than we thought they were going to be. I don't think they're a lot better than the Ravens, and so I'm going with the Ravens and Lamar Jackson and what that man can do. He is magical, what he can do when he has open field and can run. But yeah, Ravens spread for both Noah and I. There's nothing really else I want to say about the game or even talk about because it's going to be a close one. Might be ugly, might be a blowout. That's why we play the games. This next one's going to be a blowout. I'm going to tell you that right now. We're talking about the Steelers and the Packers. Packers are a 7-point favorite. Some books have them at 6.5. Packers money line minus 315. Steelers plus 230. 45.5 is the total. I do not like the Steelers team at all. This Steelers team, Big Ben. Oh man, Big Ben's rough. Don't get me wrong. He's never been a mobile quarterback.